And now, ladies and gentlemen, on the line, the vacant WBO Interim World Championship 12 rounds of boxing in the lightweight division. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with red, white, and green, official weight 134 pounds. Professional record 21 victories, including 13 knockouts, only 1 defeat. From Woodland, California, he is Vicente Escobedo. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with gold, official weight 135 pounds. His professional record 25 victories, including 21 knockouts with only 2 defeats. From Toowoomba, Australia, Michael the Great Katsidis.
So we mentioned the long line of terrific fighters from Australia. You know, you go back to Jeff Fennick and Costa Zoo.
All right,
Danny
gentlemen,
Green in action.
we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to remind you that I expect a clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. God bless. Touch up.
And along with Anthony Mundine, Sammy Solomon, Kelly Meehan, Vic Darchinyan, Robbie Payton, all champs, Australia's really done a job.
A good line, a great boxing place, too. Great fans.
And they're all going to be honored at that Hall of Fame. And that should be tremendous on the 10th of October. But right now, it's Michael Katsidis and Vicente Escobedo doing battle for the vacant WBO Interim Lightweight Championship. Katsidis facing you, since they both have the black trunks. You've got the kind of gold on Katsidis' trunks, and you've got the big tattoo on the back of Katsidis. And Escobedo is in black with the green going down the side of his trunk so you can keep them apart. You can see the taller of the two guys is Escobedo, is supposedly only half an inch. It looks taller than that, doesn't he?
Yeah, and for Katsidis, his most explosive fan fights have been the ones that have turned out in losses for him, but they were terrific fights, especially the one with Casamayor. He had Joel Casamayor on the deck after being down twice himself early before being stopped late. He is not afraid to mix it up, to go for it, and to make exciting fights.
Yeah, he's a throwback sort of guy. He comes straight in. His trainer, Brendan Smith, I've known for a long time, and he had Nanino Danier also working with him, and Stan Curran, and those guys, Arvan Jacarata, all working the corner with him, and they did a nice job getting him ready. He's been training in Las Vegas, even though he's from Australia. His wife is due to have a baby shortly, and so they get over here and get set up for the camp for this fight. This is huge for Katsidis.
Well, it starts out business as usual. He's getting hit with some flush shots as he's trying to move in and land a big shot of his own.
Well, Michael is that sort of fighter that he'll take a shot to get one in. He's trying to load up shots. Escobedo does a nice job protecting himself. And you know, this Golden Boy signed Escobedo that they think that he's a very talented fighter. And the guy is 21-1, so he's a terrific fighter without me even telling you that.
He's won 12 in a row. Big uppercut by Escobedo, just missed. And Escobedo had some blood around his left eye.
Let's see if that was from the heads coming together or that's off a punch. He has wins over 2 former champions. We mentioned his win over Kevin Kelly. He also beat Carlos Famous Hernandez. Katsidis on the assault here. Nothing fancy about Michael right now. He's just standing right in front of this guy trying to load up shots. Michael comes in sometimes. He enters that kill zone without throwing punches. And so far, Escobedo hasn't been able to take advantage of it. Michael trying to sit down on his punches and land a lot of shots. You see the hand speed.
Punches in front.
Katsidis also concerned with the blood out of his left eye. So the cut man will be busy early.
So Katsidis has that slit by his left eye, and it looks like Escobedo, Dave. Can you see? I can't really. Oh, straight right hand landed by Escobedo. All right, here we go. Round number 2. Bob Sheridan here with Dave Bontempo. Michael Katsidis to the right of your screen. Black and gold with the high black socks. Escobedo with the red trim down one leg, green trim down the other leg, and his black shorts. Escobedo to the right of your screen. Katsidis with a sense of urgency now with that little cut by the eye. Katsidis trying to come with those uppercuts on the inside. Referee Russell Morris ain't keep him up. Everything seems clean to me in here. It's just tough, hard work.
And the battle for position on the inside, you want to become lower. You try to become the lower target so that you can fire something up and get underneath your opponent. They both have the same idea.
Michael continues to come forward. Escobedo trying to set him up with uppercut of his own. See, those heads are coming together again, Dave.
Yeah. They're looking for positioning in uppercut city. And the heads are leaning on each other, clashing.
Michael, when he loads up that right hand, is exposed for counter left hook. And Escobedo will try to time that. Well, look at this, his heads right together. I must say. See, Katsidis doesn't throw coming in. He comes in like a bull, and he's going to get cut. That time he get hit with the left hook.
So far, the theme of this round with these guys is who needs to jab? These guys have just forgotten about that punch and come in on each other, loading up. Now, if you get outside of your jab, you can avoid some of the punishment and still be in position to throw your best shot.
Katsidis doing a nice job with his uppercut, but he hasn't landed real flush because Escobedo has a nice tight defense. There's the looping right hand, which falls short. And again, Michael Katsidis just waltzes in the killer. Here he comes again. Watch him. Watch him, folks. He doesn't throw coming in. He puts his head forward. And he throws on the inside here. You know, most guys teach you to hit and don't get hit. Come in there, unleash your arsenal, and get out.
And then some guys, when there's nobody jabbing back at them, can just walk in. And that's what's happening for both guys. There's nothing deterring either guy from just walking in.
Escobedo likes to punch with the room. Katsidis definitely wants to fight on the inside, try to get to that body, neutralize the height and reach advantage that Escobedo has. That one sails way up over the shoulder of Michael. Michael squared up right now as he comes in. Escobedo hangs on, pushes him off. Katsidis very strong in the legs as he's able to muscle the guy a little bit. You know, the closing seconds of this, the second round, I don't know if Escobedo did enough to get this round. I think we're going to have to give this one to Michael. I gave the first round to Escobedo. Number 3, Bob Sheridan with Dave Bontempo. We're watching our world telecast on this tonight that the great Floyd Mayweather makes his return against Juan Manuel Marquez. The principals here for the vacant WBO interim lightweight championship of the world. Michael Katsidis in the solid black trunks to the left of your screen. On the right of your screen with his back to you now, sliding around to the left, is Vicente Escobedo. Escobedo 21-1 with 13 knockouts from California and the USA. Katsidis from Queensland, and Toowoomba is the town in Queensland, Australia. And he's the one forcing the fight.
Between rounds, Katsidis' his corner telling him about moving laterally, don't come in the straight line. And it's sound advice. But the irony for him is when he walks in the straight line, he gets right into the punching zone. So he could walk in the straight line and then make an adjustment would be the best way for him to do this, or to start jamming his way in.
Michael staying outside, but Katsidis is not throwing when he comes in. You see he holds the hands high, feints, bobs. Now he throws a little bit coming in. But you know something, Dave? You know, you can tell a guy about trying to get the angles, but this guy's a warrior. He comes straight at you. He was wearing a warrior's helmet coming in, and he's a warrior in here. Caught Escobedo with a decent left hook that time. Flashes a right hand to the back of the left ear. And he gets warned about that from Russell Mora.
Well, you can still be a warrior and inject a little side-to-side movement and a quick step into your power punching attack. Although not a shoulder like that. He's lucky that there was no call on Katsidis for that.
Katsidis, you know, more of the brawler. Escobedo trying to hold him off with real slick boxing and good tight defense. And Katsidis bangs him with the uppercut, which makes that head snap back. Keeps coming forward. Escobedo showing a lot of patience with this guy, and he's taking some shots here in round number 3 with about 56 seconds to go. Katsidis having a real good third round.
Yeah, much too much patience for Escobedo as Katsidis has gotten in. The uppercut has been there. He has scored well with that, and just everything working for him with Escobedo not firing back.
No problem with that cut around the left eye of Katsidis, which happened in the first round. Brendan Smith doing a nice job on that, because he's been around a long time and knows what he's doing with this kid. Again, Katsidis forcing the fight, coming forward, digging body shots now. Willing to take a shot to come in. There's the single jab and a single jab again by Escobedo. Escobedo, you get the idea that when he wants to, he can open up anytime he wants. There's the shoulder warning, Dave, that you were looking for. Wow, with the left hook as it sails up over the head that time of Escobedo.
Maybe give Escobedo the riot act here about his passivity.
If I'm in his corner right now, and I'm not sure Barristan, I'm going to be chewing this guy out right now. I think, Dave, I agree with you. He's been much too passive here. Let's see if he changes his style in round 4. It looks like he wants to pick up the pace a little bit more, and I got the idea that he could. But Katsidis is very, very tough. And Katsidis looks like he loads up almost every punch that he throws, but he throws from outside of any distance, and then, of course, it's the uppercuts on the inside. This is round 4. This is scheduled for 12 rounds. This is a tough, hard fight for both guys. Nobody's been down. Nobody's been shaken. But Katsidis was cut probably by the heads coming together by the side of the left eye in round number 1. Katsidis again to the right of your screen with the tattoo on his back. Now to the right of your screen with the red and green trim down the opposite legs of the black trunks is Vicente Escobedo.
Katsidis has an edge in 76-68 in punches landed, and it's looked like that. He's been a little bit more active, and he's definitely gotten the better shots in on Escobedo in the last couple of rounds.
Katsidis has had some impressive wins over guys like Graham Earl and Cesar Armansat. That fight against Armansat in 2007 was nominated for one of the fights of the year in several of the rounds, for the rounds of the year. Katsidis just keeps coming forward, just continues to throw. Hard hooks, digging body shots.
Watch your head.
Referee Russell Moore again saying, watch the heads, watch the heads. Katsidis, the shorter of the two, is the guy that's going to pay the price with the taller guy. Those heads are moving around. Again, Dave, I get the feeling that Escobedo, if he get back and get himself some room, turn that left shoulder in, and set up more with a jab and start throwing some right hands, but he's just allowing Katsidis to waltz in on him. There he goes down.
And he was pretty good in the first round, getting those punching opportunities, but Katsidis continues to bring it to him, and he's fairly accurate on the inside once he gets in there.
Katsidis showing some tight defense, although that last jab got through, taking some pretty heavy leather from Escobedo on the gloves. Katsidis' nickname at first was Rocky Katsidis, then they changed it to Katsidis the Great, and that blood continues to trickle, and there's a little more than a trickle now by that left eye, and we hope that that doesn't become a major problem. Brendan Smith has done a nice job at this point keeping the fight going. Of course, after the 4th round, we would go to the scorecards. And there's only 10 seconds to go in this 4th round. So this fight will become official, but you'd hate to see a nice fight like this be stopped. Boy, look at him load up the shots. Both guys ran in place of Katsidis after Brendan Smith has had an opportunity to work on it a bit. And we'll see how this unfolds. We're in the 5th round now at the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan along with Dave Bontempo. Wherever you're watching around the world on a Sunday afternoon in Australia, the fans of Michael Katsidis, you got to be enjoying this one. Really kicking a good Aboriginal boxer nose tuned in over there.
Katsidis really working the body well here. Ducking underneath and scoring.
Keeping the pressure on him, scoring with the right hand. And I mean, the power shots are definitely Katsidis. Every once in a while, Escobedo will land one, but this is a tough guy to fight for Escobedo. On him all the time.
Katsidis has had the edge in overall opposition coming in here. He's been in with world champions, and he's had guys who have extended him. He had Casamayor down, good fight with Diaz. So he's got that relentless attitude, which he's trying to show here, come straight through. And Escobedo has to let his hands go. This guy's tailor-made for him, especially with the uppercut.
let go of that uppercut coming in. Katsidis always has that head down and tucked, and even if you don't catch the chin, you catch part of that forehead, you get his attention coming in, because Katsidis still really doesn't throw a lot on the coming in. And as I say that, almost every time I say something, he'll do exactly the opposite today. As I say that, he double jab. Right hand crashes down to the cheekbone of Escobedo. Boy, Rocky's landed some power shots, but hasn't been able to dump this guy yet. Escobedo is a world-class fighter as well.
When we talk about a territorial advantage, this is the quintessential definition of it, what Katsidis is enjoying here against Escobedo.
2 minutes gone in round number 5 in the scheduled 12-round affair. Can Katsidis keep up sitting down on these heavy punches for the full 12 rounds? It's another question. You know, in one of his losses, he gets stopped by Casamayor in the 10th round. People thought that he just started too fast. Look at that, 3 hard body shots, a 4th hard body shot. And maybe Katsidis learned from his fight against Joel Casamayor. When you're talking Casamayor, you're talking one of the really terrific fighters, though, too.
It has to give you a nice feeling coming in that you have had the more experienced opposition. So, with that being said, he's doing a nice job fighting his way in, but he still has to contend with that cut.
Well, there's not much he can do about it but a fight now, and that's left in the hands of his cornerman, Brendan Smith. And he's done a decent job keeping it close. Closing seconds, and Katsidis won't back up and let this guy steal the last 10 seconds of this round. Steps back in the belly, tackling forward. This is round number 6 at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Michael Katsidis, we have an our score sheets out in front in the fight as he continues to unleash a barrage of terror on Vicente Escobedo. Escobedo is a golden boy fighter and a very, very good one. Represented the USA in the 2004 Olympics.
But he is getting mugged right now by Katsidis. And if he's going to change that, he has to start with his jab to discourage Katsidis from walking straight in and doing this.
But the thing is, Dave, he's been getting away with it. He walks in and walks in. This guy's not holding him off with a jab, and he's letting Michael dictate the flow of this fight.
Right, Escobedo is the one who has to get off with his jab. Start the jab and not let Katsidis walk in like this. If Escobedo can move laterally, get the jab going, he'll make Katsidis reload. He also may make Katsidis walk into an uppercut.
Well, that's what he needs to do. Katsidis that time did punch his way in by throwing one single right hand. Now notice the left hand of Escobedo was down, so Katsidis picks that up. He's going to start throwing it because he's had a nice tight defense, Escobedo I'm talking about, to this point. And look at Katsidis now. He's on the outside and he's bouncing away. He's trying to set himself up. He likes to fight for being right in front of the guy. His corner told him about getting angles after the first round. I wouldn't say he's getting angles. I'd say Escobedo is circling away from him. He stops the plants, and Rocky's right in front of him. We talked about the tight defense again of Escobedo, but Katsidis, when he's come in a couple of times and he's been counter-punched, he's had the hands up there and catching him on the back of the glove, so doing a decent job and sometimes on defense. He was hitting like a speed play that time, David.
He's doing his best job in the whole fight as a counter-puncher in this round. It's the first time he's been put to that kind of a test this extensively, and he's been an excellent counter-puncher in this round.
Katsidis has been just relentless. That time he get a clip with the right hand, but he's that sort of guy that'll take a shot to get 2 in, and while he get hit with the right hand, he get 2 more in, and immediately after that, chopping right hand that time by Michael Katsidis. Blood continues to trickle by the left thigh, and Escobedo not able to take advantage of it by throwing more right hands and getting in a position where he can land around that left thigh of Katsidis. I mean, Escobedo's fighting in flurries, and Katsidis non-stop action all the way. I don't see the 7 through 12 now as we enter the middle rounds. Katsidis fast off his stool, right back at it again. Escobedo was told by Nacho Beristain, hey, when are you going to open up, kid? You better start doing it. And it's very difficult to do because Katsidis, to the right of your screen facing you now coming in, has been doing this from the get-go. And you get the idea right now that there's a sense of urgency by Escobedo, Dave.
Yeah, and it has to be so. Yeah, he's realizing what's happening. He's trying to open up a little bit here. But in the meantime now, Katsidis has been flush with confidence and has been in control of the fight. So it's hard to just turn on the energy, which is what Escobedo needs to do here. In the beginning, Escobedo could be moving maybe and could throw Katsidis off, but in the last couple rounds, Katsidis has done a nice job on a lot of different angles and a lot of different styles. It's not just coming straight ahead. He's become a good counterpuncher in this fight as well.
Escobedo looking better in this round than perhaps since the first round. But Katsidis just doesn't give him any breathing room at all as he stays on top of this guy. Escobedo backpedals and stops. Now he's throwing the hard shots to the body. Yeah, he's in the process of trying to turn this right now, halfway through round number 7. And as Brendan Smith told Katsidis the Great, you can't allow this thing to, and you just can't stop. He's throwing punches now, and it looks like he's a little bit, just a hair arm weary, or in the early stages of it to me.
Well, it's been quite a pace. We've seen Katsidis breathing heavily as far back as round 2. The other thing is, looks like this guy doesn't know how to take a round off. Doesn't know how to really try to glide through a round. It's straight ahead. It's power against power the entire way. And the pacing issue is something he will have to contend with.
Well, in the 7th round, I got to say, Escobedo's had the first 2 minutes of this, and see if Katsidis could steal this round from him. It is going to take something really big if he's going to take this round away with 35 seconds to go. Michael Katsidis, while still very busy, not as busy as he was in 2 through 6. With about 15 seconds to go now in the 7th round, this is Escobedo's best round since the first. Closing seconds now. This is the 7th round. A good round for Vicente Escobedo.
Together. This is an important momentum round.
This is a very important momentum round for Katsidis and for Escobedo. But Escobedo, he needs to do more of what he did in the 7th and sustain it. And he starts out good with a double jab. Katsidis now getting hit by the jab. That wasn't happening before because Escobedo was allowing him to come in on him. Now, unless the fight plan all along was to let this guy throw a lot of punches in the early going, but it's hard to believe that you could be that patient. When you're 21-1 as a fighter, it's not the nature of a prize fighter to be that patient.
Katsidis was getting to Escobedo throughout the first half of this fight. Some pretty good power. He drove him back and sort of made him become a little gun shy.
Now here's Katsidis trying to impose his will again on this guy. It's a nice counter punching by Escobedo. Flips him with the left hand. Katsidis continues to come in through a lot of leather there, but not much landed.
And he's gotten to Escobedo in this round.
Escobedo with the double jab and snaps the head of Katsidis. Tell you one thing, Dave, I enjoy watching these two guys fight. You got more of the boxer in Escobedo, and you got the, a decent boxer and a very, very tough competitor in Katsidis, which makes for a nice fight here. Again, that left arm hanging down of Escobedo. Can Katsidis take advantage of it by unleashing one whale of a right hand? He sees it, lets it go, but it doesn't land.
And I've had the privilege of calling Katsidis against Casamayor and Diaz. And this guy is a real exciting fans fighter. Doesn't let up a bit. And it's a very difficult pace to maintain over the 12. But while he's out there and while he's putting forth excellent value.
Well, he seems like in the 8th round that he is determined not to let Escobedo take a back-to-back series of rounds from him, because his work ethic in this round, I won't say ethic because he's got the ethic, but his output is much higher than it was in the 7th round, and it's paying off, I think, at the judges' scorecards. As I say that, a nice 3-punch combination by Escobedo lands. This is a tougher round to score.
There is Katsidis making his own room after the referee tells him to break. Took one step back and landed the uppercut.
This is more like what we saw in rounds 2 through 6. And Katsidis was caught up to a little bit in the 7th round, but I think this is another decent round for Katsidis. He's landed more power shots as far as I can determine here without question in my mind. I think that's his round 9. Michael the Great, Michael Rocky Katsidis against Vicente Escobedo. Escobedo to the left of his screen, facing you now with the red and green trim on his black trunks and the solid black trunks with a little bit of gold on them is Michael Katsidis. This is a close fight. Dave and I have Katsidis slightly out in front. We're in the 9th round. It's scheduled for 12. At stake, the vacant WBO interim title. Now we've got time called here. I guess a bit of a low blow. Referee Russell Moore doing a nice job. Hasn't had to separate these guys too much. Has there ever been a time when they grab each other? They just throw punches.
They've been well policed on the inside with their own rhythm taking over. And Katsidis, after the 1-minute break, on the one hand you look at him and he's breathing heavily, and then he comes out and sprints into action and maintains it.
This is round number 9, again scheduled for 12. And look at this guy, he's like a machine gun. He just relentlessly fires. Well, we had to have somebody hang on to somebody because I just mentioned that we haven't had that happen. But it wasn't much of a hold.
And here is Katsidis attacking and Escobedo punching, backing up. Well, that would be a Katsidis success formula.
Boy, in the 7th round, I thought Escobedo had his best round of the fight going back to the 1st. So he's doing this double jab, throwing the right hand, and not allowing Katsidis to just come through him. But he won't sustain it.
Well, in the last round, Katsidis did take it away from him. He did try to come out and sustain, and Katsidis just bowled his way through.
But at some stage, Escobedo is going to turn this fight into a war and try to catch this guy, because this far, this game plan isn't working for him. Trying to counterpunch. As I said that, he walked into a right hand. Oh, big right hand that time. Katsidis spun him with that right hand at a time when the referee was trying to stop them from the holding action of Escobedo. Escobedo paid dearly for it. He got cracked high in the cheek by the right hand of Michael Katsidis.
And then he got warned.
Yeah.
That's a double whammy.
Yeah, you take a lick like that, and then you get warned by the referee on top of it. That's how you know things ain't going your way on a given night. Up on his toes, and now we look for the stick and move, but again, it's Katsidis gets off first. 25 seconds to go in the 9th round. If Escobedo thinks he can win this fight by continuing to counterpunch, it's going to be very tough. Katsidis doesn't seem to be wilting at all here in the closing seconds of the 9th round. And I can't see any way you can give that round to Escobedo, and believe me, I'm looking for every way to do it.
No, that's a Katsidis round. He outpunched him by a 3-2 ratio. Punches.
Vicente Escobedo. Okay, here we go. This is the 10th round. Colonel Bob Sheridan here with Dave Bontempo. Glad that you're with us wherever you're watching around the world. The guy with the starburst tattoo on his back is Michael Katsidis. We've got him out in front in this fight. And now Escobedo tries to pick up the pace as he did in round 7.
Problem for Escobedo now is, it's not just a matter of winning rounds now. It's finding some thunder.
It's Katsidis that's delivering the thunder right now in round number 10. Remember, this is scheduled for 12 rounds. This is for the vacant WBO lightweight championship, the interim title they're giving it till they see what they're going to do about Juan Manuel Marquez, depending on what happens in tonight's fight. But he held his title. shots landed by Michael. Nobody has been down and nobody's been shaken. Katsidis has been forcing the fight from the get-go. Escobedo had a good round 1, a close round 1 though, and a good round 7. He needs to win 10, 11, and 12 by the way Dave and I are seeing this fight to be considered the winner of this fight in any way.
Well, Katsidis is just about the last guy in boxing who would sit on a lead. He comes out here, same ferocity he has shown from the beginning of the fight. He is not trying to protect the lead, he is trying to add to it and do more damage. It's an effective way for him to fight.
He's landed about 4 or 5 solid blows against a lesser opponent than Escobedo. He probably would have dropped them in this round. I mean, Escobedo's, worked hard. It's a different style than Katsidis, who doesn't know what it means to take a step back and doesn't care what it means to take a step back. And he'll take shots like this at his gloves, anything to get in. Even that hook upstairs he was willing to take to get a good left hand in himself. Katsidis side to side, trying to work himself in a position, but basically he wants to come straight forward. When he gets in front of his guy, he lines him up, and like a battering ram, he charges.
Well, this is a classic example of Katsidis making Escobedo fight when he doesn't want to. It's never a comfortable situation for Escobedo to engage. It's always Katsidis dictating the terms and where they open up. Here it's in the corner.
He doesn't give this guy any breather at all.
No, not back here. All right? Let's go.
Russ Moore, the referee says, hey, don't hit him in the back of the head, even if he turns the head. We don't want him hit in the back of the head. That's tough to do when you're fighting in there. Right hand lead at time by Rocky. Michael Katsidis comes forward. Man, Dave, I'm looking for ways to give Escobedo the round, and I can't.
This is a real effective fight for Katsidis.
In fact, I think this is one of the more definitive rounds for guys in Australia that are glad to see him out in front. Johnny Kizan and Jack Moronovic, the guys in around the Perth area, are big fans of this kid, in spite of the fact he's from Queensland. They love their boxers in Australia. Michael Katsidis goes to round 11 with what looks like a comfortable lead, but Dave, you mentioned no matter what the situation is with this guy, he doesn't seem to wilt, and he just keeps coming forward. Remember, it was the 10th round when he was stopped in California by Joel Casamayor. How was that different, Dave?
Well, the Casamayor fight, he'd already put Casamayor on the canvas, and it started out quickly in the round and just walked into a shot. And that is what his corner is trying to avoid for him now. They said, don't punch from too far out. And they're making a good point. They said, get right on top, be in tight when you land these punches so that you're not walking into a big shot. The other difference is, this is not Casamayor. This is a guy with far less experience than Casamayor, and a guy who is bothered by what Katsidis is doing to him. He is asserting his pedigree on Escobedo.
Escobedo looking pretty good right now, but as I say that, Katsidis just keeps coming in on him. The guy is relentless. A couple of borderline low blows, but he's just throwing shots. He's not trying to throw them low or high. He's just trying to catch a piece of the body. Never stops throwing punches. Those are hard body shots, ticketed for the area of the liver, below the rib cage on the right side. Katsidis, he does a nice job, but he does unload that right hand. He's getting his right hand back up so he doesn't walk into a powerful left hook thrown by Escobedo.
When you think of how aggressive he is in the course of 3 minutes every round, it's 2 minutes and change each round. It's got a terrific percentage of that. He is on this guy, and he has not shown a round where he was too tired, a round where he had to take off. Nothing like that. He's put his foot on the pedal the entire way, and it's a rarity. You almost never see that for 12 entire rounds.
It's like a dog that's got a hold of your lower cuff. He's not letting go. He just keeps coming at you. And there's no quit, by the way, in Escobedo, but he's running into a buzzsaw in Michael Katsidis.
Yeah, he's facing a guy who's coming straight ahead, who at times in this fight has been predictable, but yet Escobedo just can't keep him off.
In this lightweight division, Marquez is the cream of the crop, and then you got Juan Diaz, Casamiro, who's fought, Edwin Valario, Roland Reyes. There's some good guys in this division that can make for some nice fights. As he wins this interim title, soon they'll have to make a determination, and he may become the WBO champion, depending what Marquez decides he wants to do after his fight tonight.
Then you think about 140 if he wants to move up there.
That's another question. Michael Katsidis. If you're Michael Katsidis fan on a Sunday afternoon in Australia, wherever you're watching around the world, some good boxing. And Escobedo is really going to get a fire under his butt and get him going here. And Katsidis wants no part of it. He starts out like he's behind in the fight.
And he's been like that every round, as if it's a 12-round sprint or maybe a 12-round fight scheduled for 6. He's displayed marvelous conditioning, and up to this point, it's a veteran taking a younger guy to school.
Katsidis, a veteran at 29. The younger guy is 27. Escobedo's had 21 victories and 1 loss. Katsidis' record roughly the same, 25-2, but has faced better opponents and has a higher knockout ratio. Boy, the way he stayed on the top of this guy throughout the fight. And Escobedo, no quitting him. He's hanging right in there as long as he can. I mean, I just expected Katsidis to start to slow down around 7 and 8. And the 7th round we gave to Escobedo, and he was able to turn it around in the 8th and stop him from really turning the fight around.
And the interesting thing is that Katsidis was breathing heavily between rounds 2 and 3.
Yeah, he was.
So you figure that at some point he's going to wilt, and he has shown a terrific amount of guts, great conditioning, and a lot of resolve. Now, this is a guy who's been close in his 2 last major fights, and he's fighting with a little bit of anger, and he wants to get over the top in another big fight here.
Now, we mentioned he's having his first child in a couple of months, and therefore it's a whole new enthusiasm for him and something else to fight for, and he's fighting for it now. Fighting for his family, fighting for himself, fighting for Australia. Michael Katsidis has had some night here tonight. With a minute to go, it would take a lightning bolt from Escobedo, I think, to win this fight for him. Escobedo boxing well now, but Katsidis is relentless. 48, 47, 46 seconds to go in the fight.
Katsidis has been excellent tonight with his head movement to duck inside the jab of Escobedo. After he jabs and then tries to get inside, a subtle move of the head has enabled him to get inside the first shot of Escobedo. And that little move of the head has made all the difference for Katsidis in terms of his position.
Another big right hand landed on the inside, Dave, while you were talking there by Michael Katsidis. Michael just really having a terrific night, and it's with all the pressure that he's put on Escobedo, who's a very, very good fighter. But not tonight. I don't see it that way. A battle into the bow. Now look at this. Closing seconds, and the crowd likes it. A lot of people jump up and give him a much-deserved ovation.
And here at the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, we go to the scorecards. Mike Fitzgerald scores about 116 to 112. He has it for Escobedo. Dwayne Ford has it 115 to 113 for Katsidis. And Robert Hoyle scores it 118 to 110 for the winner by split decision. And now the WBO interim world champion from Australia, Michael the Great Katsidis.
All right, so that's surprising. A split decision, you never know. Mike Fitzgerald, who I'm not familiar with, from Wisconsin, had Escobedo winning the fight 116 to 112. Dwayne Ford had it a whole lot closer than we did, only 1 round separating him, 115-113. And Robert Hoyle, as I mentioned before, had it even further apart than we did. I had it 118 to 112, as did Dave. Robert Hoyle had it 118-110, which is roughly the way we had it. But boy,